Hello and welcome back to Elderberry Creek Farm and Nursery, located here in Pofftown, North Carolina. We're going to be doing a new series called Eating Wild and Natural Remedies. In this video, we're going to be going over dozens and dozens and dozens of different medicinal plants, edible plants that you can find pretty much anywhere outdoors, and a lot of these you're actually going to be able to find in your own backyard. So we'll probably only cover 2 to 3, depending on how much info each plant's going to take. We're going to try to keep it around 2 to 3 plants per video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. Because who knows, you might need this information one day. With that being said, let's go hunting. Alright, here is the first plant we're going to talk about in our series. This is American Goldenrod. You can see the beautiful little plumes of yellow flowers here. The pollinators go nuts for this thing. So not only is this a great medicinal and edible plant, this makes a beautiful addition to any landscape. This is American Goldenrod, and although there are over 100 different varieties of goldenrod in the United States, the medicinal and edible properties of this plant are all equal. So just because we're going over American Goldenrod today, that doesn't mean this is the only plant that you can use and utilize in your landscape. There are smaller varieties that get a lot shorter. You know, there's just so many different options that you can have, but for the purpose of this video, this is what we've came across, and this is what we're going to go over. Again, this is American Goldenrod. It is one of the Solidago species. Generally, this plant can be found growing alongside roadways, open fields, trails, and you can identify the plant obviously by the large plumes of yellow that you see. You've probably seen millions of them in your travels along state roads, major highways, things like that. But you can, other than the visual aspects of this plant, you can crush up the leaves on this plant, which are just kind of alternate simple leaves. If you crush those leaves up, they will give you a kind of a salty, I don't know, salty balsam-like fragrance. So, you know, a couple other little key identifying features. The flowers are edible and can be eaten either lightly fried, or you can use them in a salad. If you do want to use them in a salad, I recommend doing it when you have some guests over. That'll add a little bit of color and pizzazz to your dish that you'll be serving. Plus, they do taste, the flowers they taste really well. I mean, they're amazing flavor-wise. This plant has an astringent and antiseptic property that are widely used in urinary tract infection and bladder infections for the treatment of those things. It's also very useful in restoring the balance to the kidneys and in the prevention of kidney stones. So, for all of you out there that are unfortunately plagued with those devil rocks, you might want to look into maybe figuring out an option to utilize some of this goldenrod. As somebody who has dealt with kidney stones before, and kidney stones run in our family, this is definitely something that will make your life much easier when it comes to dealing with kidney stones. It is so many different things we could talk about. I know one thing, it is a herb of choice for treating skin wounds, burns, open sores, cuts, you name it. And since it does act as an anti-inflammatory, an antibacterial, and an antifungal, it does help those wounds heal more quickly and soothes irritation much, much, much more quickly than if you wasn't to use it at all. And what you would want to do is just simply take the leaves, pull off several leaves, chew them up a little bit just to kind of get the juices flowing, and either just dab it, rub it on the, say, a mosquito bite or a small rash or wound, or you can do the same thing, crush them up, put them on your skin, and put a bandage or something over them just to kind of help hold the little salve that you've made onto your skin. So neat little fact for it. It is also a good choice for treating colds, allergies, bronchial congestion, joint pains, yeast infections. It also boosts the cardiovascular system too. A lot of people don't realize it, but goldenrod is loaded with rutin. And what rutin is a strong antioxidant, and it helps support circulation and increases capillary strength. So, you know, definitely something, you know, again, that you would want to look into if you've got any kind of, you know, cardiovascular problems or things like that. But again, really good plant. There's also some Joe Pye weed back there in the back, and the pollinators usually go nuts for those things. There's actually quite a bit of it in here. Here's a nice little patch here. Another sweet, awesome Joe Pye weed. Not one that we're going to talk about in this video. We might talk about it a little bit later, but another awesome little landscape plant. Anyway, we will head on and see if we can find us a Prunella. I think that's the next one we're going to talk about on this list. So stay tuned, and we'll see you when we find the next one. Alright, and this is the next plant in the series we're going to talk about. This is Prunella. It is a low-growing plant. It attracts butterflies, bees, other pollinators. It's considered a ground cover, and it makes a beautiful addition to a landscape. Definitely a much better option than English ivy or vinca that wants to take over the entire world. You can see the beautiful little blue flowers on them. This one's about done. Here's some of the spent flower heads on it. Really cool little leaf shapes on these though. This is an amazing plant with good food value, but most importantly, its medicinal properties. Like I've said, I would consider this top 3 in my opinion for its medicinal uses. It's actually so great medicinally that some of the other common names that a lot of people have for them are wound root and heal all. The leaves can be used in salads or dried and made into a tea. It contains several vitamins, minerals, anti-inflammatories, antioxidants. So a really healthy plant. It's most famous for cold sores though, the treatment of cold sores. But it does work very, very well for so much other things. It works to reduce insulin sensitivity in diabetes and pre-diabetes. And research on this plant has indicated that it induces cell death in cancer cells. So it's kind of amazing to me that we can put somebody on the moon. We can put people on the moon and send rovers to Mars. We can find a cure to a global pandemic in less than a year, but we can't find a cure for cancer. I firmly believe that the cure for cancer lies in our native flora. We just really need to focus on finding what that might be. Cancerous tumor growth, they have actually found, and studies have shown that cancerous tumor growth stops completely with the use of this plant. So, you know, maybe the cure lies within Prunella, who knows. It stimulates the immune system to help the body fight off infections. It has astringent properties that will stabilize wounded tissues and protect the skin. It calms inflammation of bug bites, burns, stings, rashes, all kinds of things like that. It helps fight off respiratory infections, viral infections, and as an immunomodulator, it will regulate the immune system's response and reduce inflammation to seasonal allergies. So keep that in mind this coming fall and winter. Definitely next spring when the pollen starts going nuts. It strengthens the kidneys, promotes proper kidney function. It reduces high blood pressure. There's just so many things about this plant that would, you know, make me and should make you want to have this in the landscape. So that's all we're going to talk about in this video. We've went over goldenrod, now we've gone over prunella. Be sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on future videos. We have a lot of plants in store. So until next time, happy gardening.